let's shift, man, and let's talk about Clayface. Now, I got to tell you, I still kind of can't believe this movie's a thing. All right? And I would love to know. You let me know in the chat. Are you also shocked that this movie is still a thing? Like, yes or no? You tell me, chat. Are you shocked that this is actually still a thing? One of the reasons I'm shocked, I mean, first of all, I was always shocked. I was like, what are we doing with a Clayface movie? Like, get the fuck out of here. But the saving grace of this thing was Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan is a really popular writer. People really like Mike Flanagan's shit. In fact, Gunn himself came out and said I was never going to make a Clayface movie until I read Mike Flanagan's script. And then, like, several months later, we found out Warner Brothers is killing that script and doing a page one rewrite. So why the fuck are we still making this movie? So anyway, apparently we still are. So let's go over the news. Clayface screen tests reportedly happening this week. Actors rumored. The DCU Clayface movie is moving forward with screen tests reportedly happening this week. 4 actors are said to be on the shortlist. Tom Blythe, Leo Woodall, Jack O'Connell, and George McKay. Does anybody know who any of those people are, by the way? I do not. I mean, the last time I checked, wasn't it going to be Penguin or somebody like that? Okay, so interesting, man. Let me know, chat. Are these people cool? This follows news that the movie underwent major script overhaul with the production targeting a fall shoot and a 2026 release. DCU Studios testing for the lead role. The reported screen tests suggest casting is in the final stages as DC prepares for filming this October in the UK. All actors have breakout and rising careers. Okay, cool. So Tom Blythe is in The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Leo Woodall is from The White Lotus. Jack O'Connell's from Unbroken and Ferrari. And George McKay was in 1917 and The Beast. Okay, no official confirmation yet, but various scoopers says the role is down to this group. Let's read on. Page one rewrite with a new creative team. Regarding the overhaul, it was recently reported that Clayface received a complete page one rewrite. Mike Flanagan had written the original script and wanted to direct, but stepped away due to other commitments. Hossein Imini, Drive, 47 Ronin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, yikes, is now writing the screenplay with James Watkins directing. That's not... Okay. Horror angle and story details. Though unconfirmed, the trades have described Clayface as a horror thriller tragedy. The film follows a washed-up actor who injects himself with a substance to stay relevant, only to gain terrifying shape-shifting abilities rather than a traditional Batman story. It said this version of Clayface will be a tragic figure caught in a monster's origin story. Budget and DCU connection. James Gunn previously confirmed the film as a part of the new DCU and said the movie had been officially greenlit. It's reportedly being made on a lower budget, around $40 million, in line with a horror movie tone. Gunn's announcement called it a DCU story, tying it to the broader rebooted universe alongside titles like Superman, Supergirl, and Creature Commandos. It's scheduled to release next September 11th. In 2026. It follows Supergirl, which is said to release June 26, and Superman, which of course releases this July. So, interesting. I think, again, the main story is like, they're still doing this. And Gunn seems really about it. It also seems like he was full of shit when he said it was all Mike Flanagan's script. I think the truth is he sees an angle here to do lower budget movies with popular comic book characters or comic book characters that are connected to other popular characters. Because what can you do in a Clayface movie? You can have Batman show up. You know, I think that's kind of the fun. That's kind of the potential, right? So I think what Gunn is trying to do is figure out a way to sort of expand the catalog, continue the canon of the DCU, while also figuring out a way to do that with a much smaller budget. And he's probably trying to tap into the Joker energy a little bit. I believe Joker 1 had a budget of $40 million, maybe $50 million. And of course, it went on to gross a bajillion dollars, literally over $1 billion. And at some point, due to the 2.5 rule, of course, right, that movie made so much goddamn money. Like, that movie, bro, that Joker movie made a ton of money. Now, they lost a lot of that with the second one, which is a big fuck up. But I think Gunn sees the opportunity to do like a sort of DC Black Label thing or like a Elseworlds thing, tap into the same DC energy and create, again, more of the catalog, more of the canon, while making it viable for the studios. And man, I've been really against this since the idea came out. And I'm still, my instinct, my gut still tells me this is not the move. I think if you look at Thunderbolts, and we're about to see, right? We'll see with Superman and Fantastic Four. But my guess here is that almost because of the oversaturation of the comic book stuff, that fans are getting really picky about the content they consume. And I think the bigger brands, the bigger characters, the bigger franchises, and frankly, the bigger moments, I think that's what's going to draw people to the theater. Deadpool and Wolverine was pure fan service spectacle. And people loved it, man. And it made $1 bajillion. Thunderbolts is a really good movie. It's really good. It's really tight. It feels like a return to form for Marvel. And it might lose $100 million, dude. So it's just, you cannot ignore that. I also think you look at what Sony did, right? I just feel like there's a lot of data that's saying this is not a good idea. Okay, look at what just happened at Sony, man. They just had to throw in the towel after creating a Venom movie that almost made $1 billion without Spider-Man. They somehow squandered it over the next couple of years. And you sort of see that even among villains, not everybody's created equally. And, Madam Web, massive bomb. Morbius, massive bomb. Craven was a crazy big bomb, dude. Craven basically killed what they were trying to do there, right? And so I just think there's a lot of evidence here that's like, nah, man, you can't do this. You can't actually pull this off. However, to be fair, I also understand the thinking, and it is possible that this is the direction they need to go in. It's just, how can you make it work? How can you make the Clayface movie, especially now that you've lost Flanagan? And I don't think any of these dudes are going to light the world on fire. I mean, they seem like good actors. But I don't know, because I think a part of what made Joker pop was that it felt especially at the time, because Marvel was very successful and there was a lot of Marvel content, but it just felt like there was nothing like Joker out there. Now though, I think you have a lot of stuff like Joker out there, a lot of mature stuff, a lot of violent stuff, a lot of artist takes on all of this stuff. I feel like even that side of the space is saturated. So how can this movie actually stand out amongst all other comic book things? I don't know. I can understand why they're trying it. I continue to believe it's a bad idea. I would not do this shit. I guess if they throw some Batman in there, I mean, they have the ability to sprinkle a little Batman in there. Now, that shit did not work for The Flash, right? They had like 3 different Batman in that movie. It did not work for The Flash, dude. Again, I think this is a product of the modern movie-going audience being so well-informed, so tuned in, dialed into all the rumors, leaks, and everything. People knew a month before Joker 2 came out that it was anti-fan and a slap into the face of the first movie. That was just a narrative that was out there. We talked about it here on the channel. And the movie could not outrun that narrative. Right? So Clayface would need something, and it would need something early on to hook people and get people really interested. And I just personally don't see it. I think there are a lot of other characters that you could do much better with. That's just me. You know what I mean? Like, especially with, Gunn had announced the Damian Wayne, Grant Morrison Batman story. Well, why not do a movie about Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is so much of a better bet with way more interesting elements of the ability to have all kinds of characters. I mean, you could put Deathstrike into that thing. You could have Talia doing her thing. You could have all sorts of characters. I mean, they could go try to assassinate almost any DC character, right? So that just feels like a better playground for this kind of movie. Of course, the Clayface movie has the horror element. He's an actor. It feels a little bit like, what's it called? Wonder Man a little bit here with a failed actor doing superhero stuff. So like that's a little bit weird, but I understand the draw. Hollywood people go crazy for that sort of stuff. You know, look at the studio, etc. So I see the logic here. I just still got to say, man, I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea, bro. But it also appears like they're doing it. So we'll see. This could be one of those things where I'm wrong. And we'll talk about it in a couple of years. And I'll be like, damn, dude, that thing really crushed. You know, I was wrong about that. For now, that's how I feel that's the take, okay? But now let's shift into talking about a different potential DC movie here. And I'm talking about Constantine 2. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Dude, Constantine has to be one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. I think it's top 10. I think it has to be in the top 10, man. So, you know what? That's an interesting question in and of itself. We should do a top 10 greatest comic book movies of all time. We should do that. You know, we do that on stream or whatever. But I would say I think Constantine's up there, man. Infinitely rewatchable. Oozing with style. Incredible performances. Oh, I loved this movie, man. I really, really loved the Constantine movie. Again, I probably watch this thing at least once a year just because it's that good. Well, we've heard that over the past couple of years, they've been attempting to make Constantine 2. We now have some updates about that, so let's get into it here. Keanu Reeves is not happy with Constantine 2 scripts, says co-star Peter Stormare, exclusive. We got a peek behind the curtain of a long-awaited DC Comics sequel. Constantine's Lucifer actor, Peter Stormare, who was fucking brilliant. He's in the movie for like 5 minutes. He steals the show. Unbelievable. He disclosed some new information about why Constantine 2 is taking so long, positing that it is because the franchise-led Keanu Reeves lead is unhappy with the script. A sequel to the 2005, oh my God, it was 2005, DC Comics movie has been stuck in development hell for years. The latest fans heard about the project. Reeves and director Francis Lawrence had pitched the story to DC Studios and were given the green light to pursue writing a script, but no further details have been made public. In an exclusive interview from the direct conducting while promoting his 2025 film Stand Your Ground, now available on PVOD, what the hell that is, Constantine star Peter Stormare addressed what he has heard about the Keanu Reeves-led DC Comics sequel. Stormare revealed that it has been a lot of back and forth so far, that Reeves is not so happy with the scripts. Here's what he said. It's a lot of back and forth because I think Keanu, which I know pretty good, is not so happy with the scripts and usually what comes out of the studios. Because the first one wasn't that successful in the beginning, it became a sleeper, it became a cult movie, and now is one of the biggest cult movies ever. But to do a sequel, the studio want to have, you know, cars flying in the air. They want to have people doing flip-flops and fighting action scenes. What the fuck? I mean, yeah, sure. They want spectacle. It's almost like what we were just saying there. You know what I mean, James? We need a little spectacle. What about some flying cars in the Clayface movie? Mike Flanagan doesn't want to do flying cars. Well, guess what? He's fucking fired. All right, let's read on. Stormare said Keanu has the vision of a movie that is, again, about demons and regular people. It has worries about a sequel deviating too much for that. I think Keanu says, I've done John Wick. This movie is spiritual. It's about demons and regular people, and I wanted to keep it that way. And we talked about that. I want to do God coming down exactly the same way, but in a black suit and more or less like Lucifer from the first one. Oh, bro. Oh, my God. That's exciting. That's exciting. I'm 12 years older, so it's going to be hard to, you know, completely imitate the first movie. But I think from Keanu, he wants to do a sequel that is very close to the first one. Very cool to hear, man. Dude, the juxtaposition of Lucifer coming down on the white, the Morning Star, and then potentially God himself coming down on the black. Damn, that's pretty crazy. Keanu is very proud of this character, the former Lucifer actor admitted. He said that if they were going to do a sequel, Reeves would continue to make sure it was done in the right circumstances. I think Keanu is very proud of that. He was fighting for it to be a character that he loved and wanted to develop. And I mean, with Tilda Swinton doing Gabriel, it is a cool character. And even My Lucifer is a cool character that you can relate to as a viewer. Dude, it's so good. They wanted to dress me up, like a devil in a tail, a pitchfork or whatever. But we were really fighting for me to have like an off-white suit and just do it very simply. It works so well, especially with like his bare feet and like the oily black, like, I don't know what it is, that like burning, like lava-esque stuff. Oh, it was so fucking good, dude. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to add a lot of actions and shootouts. Stormare disclosed, and that they can capture the audience attention again if they stick to what made the first film work. It turns into an action movie and not like going deeper and deeper into the characters. I think he wants to do his character again, Constantine, as grounded as it was the first time. It took a long time for you to become a cult movie. It really worked, and it will work on the audience again. You don't have to add a lot of actions and shootouts. You have other movies. Don't turn it into a big Marvel. Don't turn us flying around in harnesses all the time and shooting each other up. Don't bring in the big guns. Let it be. Absolutely agree with that on all accounts. When asked if he had seen these action-heavy scripts that Constantine Scar revealed he hadn't, all he could get was hearsay from Reeves at this point. That is just hearsay from him, and it's trying to be secretive. As we say, both me and him, just do the first movie again and add some other elements, and you have a sequel. The Godfather 2 was a sequel that was built on number 1. They are very similar. You can actually see number 1 and 2 together, and they stick the landing. So don't do a completely different movie, then it won't hold together. And I think that's where we are at. A Keanu Reeves Constantine sequel has been in development since the early 2010s, with director Francis Lawrence first being a person to broach the subject. In the years since, it has slowly started to attracting people to it, with Peter Stormare, Reeves, and Lawrence all confirmed to return in February of 2025. I remember we talked about that, man. It started to heat up. We were getting excited. Kind of felt like Gunn might put the kibosh on it, but it seems like he's open to some Elseworld stuff, so you never know. In February 2025, it was announced the team had met with DC Studios head James Gunn and Peter Safran and had been given their blessing to pursue writing a Constantine 2 script, which, according to Stormare, remains unfinished. So technically there, you can kind of read in there, maybe if they get that script done, we could do it. Because, the whole point here, they have some more stuff in the article here, but I'm just going to kind of tell you why I even brought all of this up. To me, I think you have the perfect solution to the Clayface problem in the form of Constantine. Now, I would assume there's maybe a tricky element here where maybe Keanu doesn't want to fully commit to like the DCU thing and be like a big part of that or whatever. But like, were you really going to have Clayface as a recurring character like all over the thing? Maybe it's okay if it's just Keanu as Constantine. So what I'm saying is, don't make the Clayface movie. Instead, make a $40 million or maybe $60 million Constantine 2. That seems like so much of a better solution. And I think you could probably then you could even have a Batman cameo, dude. And I know like Keanu would probably like not necessarily love that, but I would show him some great stuff. There's some great Batman and John stuff. There's some interesting Hellblazer stuff, but also some of the more recent animated movies have teamed those two together. When I wrote my Batman comic, which I think I did last year at this point, I made a little 10-pager ashcan Batman comic. I put John Constantine in that because I love Batman and Constantine together. I actually think they're really good together as characters, right? So I think, number one, you should definitely make this fucking movie, dude. I think Constantine, and we live in the age, right, with Hugh Jackman coming back, RDJ's coming back, even though the jury's kind of out on that. A lot of the OGs are coming back. We just had Deadpool and Wolverine last year, which brought a bunch of people back, and everybody loved it. So we live in this age of like the nostalgia for the old characters. Truly, Constantine 1 is that cult classic. You can hear it in the article, but I think most of us nerds know that. So, dude, there's an opportunity there. Like, I just think there's an opportunity there. Like, you don't necessarily need You don't need to do this Clayface movie, man. Like, I'm telling you right now, you don't need to do this Clayface movie. I think you do Constantine 2, make it connected to the DCU, or even loosely connected to the DCU. I think you accomplish a lot of what you want. And I think it'd be a profitable, fun DC movie, dude. And by the way, here's another interesting element here. As far as I understand it, Keanu Reeves has turned down over 10 different multi-million-dollar contracts from Marvel Studios. So what I'm trying to say is, Marvel wants Keanu fucking bad, dude. They want him bad. James, you have a thing that he actually wants to do. You have this golden fucking goose. And it's Keanu. So he'll show up in a Keanu movie for free, but he's not going to sign a multi-million-dollar contract to Marvel. Like, his priorities are just different. So I'm just saying, like, dude, you have the ability to do something really fucking cool here. And it would be a feather in the cap of the DC universe, man. I truly think it would be good. Thanks for watching. And if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.